To begin this review, I'm going to tell you something that you most of the time would not hear on our channel. Today's game is called Midnight Fight Express, and the first few words I want to say about it, it's not finished. It's not finished at all. Why it's not finished? Well, we're gonna dive deep today in this video, and I'll try to explain you what I like about the game, what is cool, and what could be better to create a much better and cool experience, because this game has something in it. But before that, I would like to ask you, if you're not subscribed to this channel, drop a like, subscribe to it, press notification bell. These three things will help a lot for the next videos on our channel. And let's go. Indie games has been partial to trend popularized by Hotline Miami, where you just drop into the room, destroy everyone in one run, and you would want to complete the level once again and once again, picking up different weapons, using only melee, using only that, this, pistols only, triple kills, whatever. This all been kind of sent trend of the new kind of games. It was a high bar, not even the nation games could clear with the sequel, but it hasn't stopped other developers from creating their own brand of stylish violent games. Midnight Fight Express is another entry into the genre, and while it kicks ass, kicking ass and good game in a disappointing core. Midnight Fight Express, created by Jacob Zwinel, recently arrived on the previous devices, bringing on addictive and smooth indie arcade brawler, and bringing players to the deep combat system, leveraging your ability to pull off the sickest fighting moves and take advantage of the surrounding environment. Repetition will be crucial and improvement. Every round you will go and defeat your enemies faster using the different environment, something that you could see in Sifu, or like I mentioned, in a Hotline Miami. Kicking its story at the end of the night's page in a police station where you find yourself being integrated. A former member of criminal underwater known only for a moniker babyface, in mindset relating to previous night events. A night of unbreathed violence began with a very talkative drone arriving on your drone step, relaying a message of criminal underworld takeover, unless you work with them and stop it. So let's all of night and mayhem commence. Unfortunately, through the all of violence and combat, you'll find a story that feels like an afterthought, where they all have like a past and characters aren't developed enough to feel connected. However, completing the levels will allow you to fast forward through the dialogue when during the through and level again, which helps you to breeze through with a bit of lecture story. The animation acts as a cover that masks its mechanical shortcomings. Beating up at thugs can be satisfying early on when there is not much going on, but the combat begins to buckle when it escalates in complexity. Keeping on combat is extremely frustrating, then a protagonist is prone to whiffing the punches, even if the limitations magnifies, and then to the nearest good. Other enemies will continually backpedal, which kind of leads to the more whiffs, and slow down the tempo. There is an attack that means to deep and far away fool, and immediately this, but it only sometimes works as advertised. Needing to repeatedly dodge and also headache is always something that you need to reposition the player character and set, with something like shadows, even like have to once in a while. Playing this game, it feels like it's not only like something that is not fully finished, but it feels like something been left over and haven't been looked up. The game has promising things, but there is always a but. Anyway, one move is like supposed to let player talk and take the dodge of the continuing their combo, but isn't really good properly to aim. This probably keep on getting to you. Flow is really important to the game like this, since being able to bounce to target is the key part and the fantasy inherent feels like. Games like Sifu and Batman Arkham series are magnificent examples of how, since they are really mechanically sound and rhythmic enough to get players into that flow. While it has a truly intrinsic electronic soundtrack, Midnight Fight Express lacks the finesse to get the players into the zone, and fundamental steps was a title in this genre. But there is also a bunch of other questionable decisions to the further more implementedly ability to fully enjoy its brawls. Strangely, there is no way to restore the heads aside, from tuning in from the grateful automatic healing. Engaging the house precisely like this is total of kind of turning a game into a mediocre shooter that limited by its camera angle and the cheap spawns. Aiming up and firing back in the solution, but gameplay also tempered and acceptability of all this. Weapons, including the Upfarmer revolver, are sometimes impressed since they won't fire an enemy too close to the player, which happens to something like a lot in the predominantly of the build. around the close quarter facilities. There are also a handful of shootings that will be vehicle only levels that have their share of ridiculous. Meanwhile, for contest, it is more focused on realization its potential, constantly throwing a different hazardous enemy types at you, using the plays, trying to make it more spectacular or random, but in the end, it fails in the most basic thing, creating the gameplay that would be really interesting and really kind of connected to you. I wouldn't say that it's a bad game, but it's just a game that lacks something, and it would never get to the level of Hotline Miami. To sum it up, you can try it, but you're not gonna be really surprised. Too much talk, not that much deal.